the biggest game changer here is not the church, not the religious sector, not the political class. The biggest game changer here is the American senator who came, Chris Coons, who went and talked to everybody and told them to stand down.
Why do you think so?
I think so, yes. This has been, some of us have been around this for the longest. Personally, I could be a skeptic person, but I would want history to bear me out. We had problems in 1992. There was a cooperation between my party and the ruling party at that time. In 1997, there was a merger between the ruling party and my party at the time. Basically, it was not my party then, but within a coalition together. In 2002, there was basically the steamroller called NAC, which came together, and we thought this was an opportunity for Kenyans to, for the first time, reclaim their nation because of the unity. But then it also collapsed in a matter of months. In 2007, we had the coalition government, which was another handshake. In 2017, we equally had a handshake here. I don't know what fundamental delivery that was made to Kenyans in terms of the manner in which governance was going to be done. I don't know what institutional frameworks were laid the foundation such that it becomes, you know, it's not a matter of who. We're not a nation of men and women. We have to be a nation of rules, laws, systems, institutions. Because today you have very powerful guys who have, one is the president, the other one is a powerful opposition leader. Tomorrow they will not be there. Shall we have a replay of this all the time? We go for elections, we come out of elections, we have an acrimony. There is need, Kenyans suffer a lot because of a lot of populism on the part of the government and on the part of the opposition again. And this is just going to be like, oh, sorry, in 2013, I forgot. In 2013, we also had a similar things. We had an election, which personally I believe was stolen. I personally believe that the elections were stolen from Raila Odinga 3 good times. 2007, 2013, and 2017. I believe in that. And I've said this many times. But again, we had basically a handshake or a coming together. You remember those days, I was the chairman of the Baba While You Away. We came together, we went through these things. The country, nation went into some kind of a chaos. Lives were lost. There was an element of handshake. The next thing I would see is that my coalition leader was in the State House and they were calling one another brother, brother, my brother, my brother. Exactly the same way Ruto now is calling Raila my brother. And again, nothing was delivered for Kenyans because at that time, the problem was a spontaneity. It's that Kenyans were suffering and Kenyans were rising up to, among other things, the high cost of living that time. And a lot of things that were happening. Discrimination in priorities, state capture. But then that spontaneous, popular anger was hijacked by us, the political class. And we basically cut our deals behind the scenes, and that was the end of it. Now, whether this one is going to be any different, I have my doubts about it.
You have your doubts.
I have my doubts about it.
I'm just wondering, of course, it's right to, it is within your right of your opinion that...
Well, we'll get peace, there's no doubt about that. We'll get peace.
Just hold on. You're saying that the elections were stolen from Raila Odinga in 2013 and 2017.
2007, 2013, and 2017.
And since...
In every case, there was a kind of a movement that arose, but never got to the real issues and created a permanent solution to that.
So in 2013...
There was an agreement between politicians, basically handshakes and whatever you want to call it, and the institutional, systematic manner in which this was going to be solved for posterity was never tackled. The moment the deal was reached...
Why would you have such an opinion at a time that the Supreme Court actually considered these matters, both in 2013 and 17, and even in 17, told that Raila Odinga, you are right, go back to the election?
2017, I told you the elections were stolen in 2017.
That's what I'm saying. Why would you still hold the position that 2013 was stolen?
Yes.
Yet the Supreme Court gave its judgment that the election was free and fair.
Now I have my doubts. You basically, look, you could get a judgment. You could have a situation in which an innocent person is taken to the gallows because the courts have sentenced him to death. You know what I mean? I mean, these things happen in law. I mean, he's a lawyer, I'm a lawyer. And either we did our case very poorly, or we did not protect our votes very well. You get my point? Or there was too much hanky-panky business by the Electoral Commission, which I believe was the case in 2013. But 2013, the election was stolen. I'm confident and 100% sure about that.
How about the recent election, 2020?
The recent election, as far as I'm concerned, my honest opinion is of all the elections I've seen, that was the closest to the fair elections that I would say, because I was there myself.
Okay.
And I think it was, I wouldn't say 100% was fair. By the way, this election was just too close to call. And all you needed to do was still, 10 or 20 votes in every small polling station. If somebody was not very, what do you call?
So how can you say it was fair?
Vigilant.
But, say that you can
but I was there. I mean, in my own constituency, look, I had my elections rigged myself out a number of times. I won elections and it was rigged. So I know what serious rigging was.
Okay.
This last election, as far as I'm concerned, was the fairest that we've ever had for the longest, by the way.
Okay, I hear you,
Yes.
Farah Maalim.